Now, to use Facebook, you're going to want to navigate to the Audience Insights portion of your ad manager. So I had to hop into my account here, not in an incognito window, but once you get to the Audience Insight portion, you can start to look around and see what's visible based on a lot of different types of information. In this case, we can search by work in terms of job title. Sometimes you'll be able to find stuff if personal trainer is a job title, but most of the time on Facebook, you're not going to be able to find it unless it's a really, really common title. That's not the best way to use Audience Insights. Instead, you're going to want to go by interests. By adding the interest of personal trainer into the interest bar on Facebook Audience Insights, we're going to be able to get an audience of around 10 to 15 million people just in the United States. What that tells you immediately of the people who are interested in things relating to personal training is that 65% of them happen to be women and 35% are men. There's not really any interesting notes around relationship or education other than perhaps maybe a little bit more college and grad school than the average Facebook user. But then there's others like military and health and medical services and things like that that may be interesting to further narrow in on your target market. The first thing I would see here is that if I'm interested in working with personal trainers, it might be worth looking at only women or only women who are interested in personal training in general. So in order to dig down further onto them, I'm going to come over here to gender and select only women. So now I see that 100% of my audience is women. It's lowered it down to 8 to 9 million people. And now I can start to look at different parts of Facebook to really see what is relevant to my business. I want to dig further down into the female side of personal trainers for my marketplace. I can do that even more by sorting by additional demographics. In this case, it looks like a smaller segment of people are under the ages of 18 to 24. So I'm not going to want to work with anyone under the age of 25 because most of my audience sees a higher skew towards people who are 25 to 35 or 35 to 45 in this case. So if I wanted to get really granular and really detailed, I would come up to age and I would set my age minimum to 25 and I would set my age maximum to 45. Let's come up here, 45 years old. So now that we've done that, we've got an audience of around 4.5 to 5 million people. This is a really good size audience for personal trainers. If you have a smaller niche or industry than personal training, you're probably going to end up with a much smaller audience on Facebook and therefore not have as much information on here. That's okay because there's other resources to look at marketplaces, especially for certain types of job titles. In this particular case, we're dealing with a profession. And if you want to start with a marketplace that is more consumer centric, usually the consumer centric marketplaces are much easier to find on Facebook Audience Insights. And professions or B2B style, which we'll discuss in a moment, is going to be better use for other parts of the internet, like actual research, Harvard, LinkedIn search, things like that. For now, let's continue with the theme of personal trainers. We've narrowed it down to 100% women between the ages of 25 and 45. And finally, I'm going to go over here to page likes. Page likes is going to tell me what types of pages this person is interested in. And then I can go and look at those people, not only the types of gurus that they follow or the people that they're aspiring to be, but also the individuals that are literally following them. For example, I've got trainer Cami, Burn 20, trainer Lindsay. This person is a coach, maybe an aspirational coach, which means I can take this person and I can open this link in an incognito window and see what happens. So in this case, on an incognito window, I can see that this person has almost 750,000 followers, which is excellent. She is an actual fitness coach, obviously a very fit, beautiful woman. So highly aspirational for a personal trainer who's a woman. You see related pages who are also exactly like this that I can go on and look for. I don't want to join Facebook on my incognito, but I can look at her videos. I can look at the individuals who are commenting. And by looking at those individuals who are commenting, this person who's a top fan, Deborah Gerber, could also be, okay, so if hers is private, you'd have to look on your own personal, but for me being incognito right now, that's totally fine. When we look at these profiles, you can start to figure out what type of marketplace is following this individual and get more and more granular detail on this person. This is only for this type of individual that we're looking for in personal training. But as you can see, there's lots of additional information we can jump into. This page is liked by this page, meaning her account, either her personally or her team, has chosen to follow these individual brands, and therefore that's relevant to additional target market research that you want to do for your brand. Now, the pages that are related are what Facebook believes are related, and therefore other large pages like hers that you can do additional research on as well. Once you get here, you can look at page transparency. You can read about their communities and the details about this person. But the really interesting stuff is down here in the comments and the shares and the reactions, because you get to see what type of people are commenting and sharing and interacting with this brand, and therefore make it easier on you doing your target market research. Also, you can analyze her as a competitive analysis and look at whether or not your sophistication of your marketplace is high or low, depending on what type of product you're serving for this marketplace. If you're selling directly to personal trainers, you can see what she's doing to promote herself, and therefore consider that your audience might be in that level of sophistication because they're seeing her and wanting to be like her, and therefore thinking about marketing in the way that she does marketing. Something to consider. Back into Facebook Audience Insights, there's other people beyond the trainer that we just clicked on. There's products and there's supplements. There are food and beverage places where you can see the ancillary interests of this target market, and on and on. Facebook Insights, when you've really not dialed into the demographic, is really interesting to figure out what the psychographics and individual pieces of the target market are for these individuals. And once you've done that, you can really compile a strong target market that is starting from this kind of vague upper level of a market, which is personal trainers. And now you're deep into an avatar that you want to serve, which is a woman who's a personal trainer between the ages of 25 and 45 who's interested. And now you can dig even deeper and get yourself a specific person who's an avatar, because if you wanted to work with an individual who's like Trainer Lindsay, then now you would have to go after a person who's a social media influencer and has a brand and is building her following that way, versus going after an aspirational audience of people who want to be like her, and therefore going after, maybe a 26-year-old, 27-year-old who has 4,000 followers on Instagram and wants to become a celebrity fitness influencer. Different people, different avatars, but all discoverable by doing this quick research on Facebook Audience Insights. Now, if you're starting from a marketplace or a market-based search, meaning overall kind of who your consumer-centric market is, Facebook Audience Insights is the right place to start. But if you are trying to find a B2B style audience or marketplace or something more interesting, then you can dive into the next section, which is the live B2B research. Let's dive into some live research for the business to business niche. Now, I'm just going to pick a niche in business to business because there's so many different options here, so many different types of sellers that we can go. And I will show you how I research a B2B style niche using the tools that are available today, and how you can do the same and apply these first big 4 principles of target market. All right, let's dive in. Here we are with B2B style research. Since B2B is such a wide range, you can be in sales, you can be in marketing, you can be in HR, you could be a consultant, whatever your particular business happens to be. It's also so niche that because industry spans the entire globe and every single piece of technology and production that's been created, it's impossible for me to show you every single resource to do market research. However, one of the things that I can do to show you that the internet has all the information you could possibly need is a website like thomasnet.com. Thomasnet.com is a place to find suppliers of industrial stuff. What you can see is that not only are there over 500,000 supplier profiles with a bunch of different information and products that are available here, but they have everything very neatly organized and ability to search. In this case, all I'm going to do is click on supplier discovery, and then instead of even searching, I'm going to come down here and just pick something. In this case, instruments and controls for laboratory equipment and supplies. When I click on this, I immediately find 2,218 suppliers for this very specific B2B thing. Now, if I am a person who's looking to assist laboratory equipment and supplies suppliers with their business, with their financing, with their marketing, or with services or with executive training or something to that effect, I immediately have a very well curated list of individuals that I can go out and search with lots of interesting information here. Just knowing about this resource then enables you to go out into the internet and look for other things as well. One of the things I like to search for with B2B is to start with LinkedIn. So with LinkedIn, you're going to need an account, obviously, to use the majority of the services. But one of the most powerful things you can do is immediately start to use the search bar. Up here, you're going to get lots of different suggestions, different things that you might be interested in just by typing in your keyword. But you'll notice that I took the initial search, which is laboratory equipment, with these 2,200 suppliers, and just input that directly into the search bar using quotation marks. What that does is allow LinkedIn to search specifically for profiles, in this case, people that contain the term laboratory equipment. And in this case, I've got over 100,000 results of individuals who are working in this space. Now, some of them might be an actual technician, some of them might be salespeople, but overall, you're going to find a ton of different individuals who are in your target market if you're doing B2B. If you're specifically selling laboratory equipment to suppliers or to individuals who get that type of equipment for their business, or purchasing officers, this is where you would come find it. And you would use the terms that you initially discovered here in order to discover people that you can look at for your target market. Now, in this case, Katie would probably not be a good person to target because she's a student and a laboratory technician, so probably lower on the rung of someone who is in your target market. But a laboratory validation scientist or a consultant might be someone that you would want to look at as a potential person to either make your target avatar or to look at to start to research and see if they fit the kind of person that you're looking for. Again, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but with the sheer number of sub niches and products that are available on an industrial or B2B level, it's impossible for me to go into more detail to show you the exact steps. But one of the things that I've found for all B2B style research is that it's about people and it's about the individuals who make decisions in the industry that you're in. So by being able to pinpoint specific industries using the tools on the internet like thomasnet.com or other places that aggregate your industry, and then use the terms associated with that for the social networks related to business like LinkedIn, you're able to find the types of information that you need. The only other way to find contact information or to find target market information for B2B style leads is to start to look for emails and then go out from there to try to find out who those people are, maybe interview them, maybe, to ask questions about their purchasing methods or anything like that. The best way to do that is to find the website for different types of industries. So in this case, I'm looking at Walter Stern Incorporated. Maybe I'll be able to find out where their website is. Okay, right. So right here, I'm able to go immediately to their website for the stuff that they sell. And then it looks like the app that I have pre-installed to find email addresses, which is hunter.io, is not finding any immediately from this site. But right down here, I can see that Walter Stern Inc. at AOL.com is one place that I can immediately start to look for contact information. Also, if I look through Contact Us and I find other pieces of information here, I might be able to find out who owns this. Is it Walter Stern? Is it whoever Stern is? You can start to look for the owners of this company and start to reaching out in that way. But overall, I'm starting from Google and other resources that are enabling me to find the type of industry. I'm niching down into either individual companies or individual people using the terms that I've found and digging until I find those people who can make purchasing decisions based on my industry and my niche. We can go into more detail during the question and answer periods of this program if you have specific questions related to your industry or if you're finding it particularly difficult to find target markets for what you're looking for.